So the report yesterday is that the Niners would be willing to trade Trey Lance for a second-round pick and a fourth-round pick in the upcoming draft. On the one hand, it feels low because they spent 3 first-round picks for him. On the other hand, it feels a little unrealistic because he hasn't played in 3 years. And it's hard to say what a guy's trade value is coming off a 3-year layoff. A 3-year. I don't think I've ever heard of anything like that.
Yeah.
And it's not like he had a track record to begin with. So what do you think about this valuation?
I've been thinking about it, man. I think differently from a lot of people I've been seeing comment on this. I think the 49ers would not take a second and a fourth. And I think there are several teams that would offer a second and a fourth. If they really only want a second and a fourth for Trey Lance, if that's true, I think he's gone, because I think there are a few teams that would do that. Like there's the Texans, the Commanders, the Colts, the Panthers, the Saints, the Falcons. They all have second and fourth round picks, and they don't have a quarterback. And
what if the Jets miss out on Rodgers?
Yeah.
What do they do?
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Although I don't know if Robert Sala's in a position to take on a project in year 3, having to make the playoffs, but I don't know. We'll see. He's in win now mode.
Yeah, when you're a coach of the Jets, you're always in project mode, it seems like. But yeah. If they get Rodgers, they're probably good. I just think, for me, like Trey Lance, the 49ers trade 3 first-rounders or 2 first-rounders, and they spend another first and about a third. That's to move up and draft Trey Lance third. Nothing has really changed except he got injured. So I don't understand why another team wouldn't be like, hey, this is our opportunity. We can give him a second and a fourth. A team like
because the thing with Trey is that it's not like he was the number 1 recruit out of high school. It's not like he went to Ohio State and won the national championship. It's not like he played 3 years of college. Like his value is always speculative. Was always theoretical. And the fact that now it's been 3 years without him playing, it's like, well, that initial value comes into question. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that makes it tricky with Trey.
There's a lot of reports.
Like he's like Anthony Richardson. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't really have a resume. He was at North Dakota State for 1 year. That's it.
Well, that's the thing. The Niners felt he was worth it, right? And then the Falcons.
Yes.
Falcons,
and a lot of teams did.
Yeah.
But that was 2 years ago.
The Falcons were going to, when the 49ers drafted Trey Lance, it was reported that the Falcons were going to spend that the 7th pick overall on Trey Lance.
I think 4th. They had the 4th pick on.
Fourth?
Yeah. So I think they were right after. They took Kyle Pitts 4th, I believe.
Yeah. And then a lot of people are saying if Trey Lance waited another year, he'd probably be the number 1 draft pick in the draft.
True.
So there's a high evaluation on Trey Lance, and for a second and a fourth seems like a bargain to me.
I mean, really, the pandemic made him a tough evaluation because who the hell in the history of the sport was a top 3 pick after a year off?
Yeah.
I mean, no, it never happened.
Yeah.
But it had to happen because of the pandemic, and so that's why there's so much confusion about Trey Lance. He hasn't played in 3 years, and it's not his fault. There was a pandemic. He got benched. He didn't get benched. He got slow played like Patrick Mahomes got slow played, and then he got injured. I mean, 3 things that were completely out of his control. And so now, yeah, maybe he's worth a second and a fourth, but the way I took it was if that got leaked, these are negotiations. You start higher. You're asking prices higher than what you end up accepting. So if someone calls the Niners and say, what's Trey going to cost? And they say second and a fourth, to me, that means they would accept a second or maybe a third and a fourth. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I just think he's worth more than that second round pick to the Niners. And I think a lot of teams would offer that. I really do. I just think, hey, we can get the guy the Niners traded 3 firsts for with a second. Let's freaking do it. Right. And there's teams out there that have so many picks that it would be.
But again, though, with Trey, it's tough because what do? Do you trade for him and sit him some more? Or do you trade for him and play him right away? And how many teams really would feel confident about playing Trey right away?
Yeah, I mean,
like the Jets. Can the Jets do that? Can the Jets afford that?
Jets probably would be cautious about it. I don't think the Jets would.
Texans could do it.
But
Texans could do it.
Yeah, the Texans.
But the Texans might just draft Bryce Young. You know what I mean? Like they could just do that. So
the Panthers could do it.
Panthers could do it.
Think about it. Some of these teams.
But the Panthers are going to draft a quarterback with their first pick.
Yeah, they are. But there's a lot of teams that have early first rounders that they could, like the Texans, for example, have 2 first rounders. They could spend 2 first rounders on other positions, really make their team strong, and then bring in Trey Lance. And D'Amico's seen Trey Lance; he knows what he is. So I think if the Niners are willing to accept a second, I think he's gone. I just don't think they are. I really don't think they are.
I think they'd accept the second if they get Aaron Rodgers. Again, For them to say, because we're going to talk about the risks, like what could the downside of possibly trading Trey Lance. If they trade him and don't have Rodgers, and they're saying, "Well, we believe in Brock and Darnold," that is
Crazy.
really risky. That's walking a tightrope with no net right there.
Yeah.
But if you have Rodgers, I mean, it's a safe play. That's
Yeah.
really no one crushes you for that. So
Yeah.
I don't care how much they say they like Sam Darnold. I don't see them really put themselves in a position where Sam Darnold could start week 1.
No.
And Brock Purdy's injured. I just don't see it. That takes some serious courage, and I don't think the Niners have the courage of their convictions like that. I just don't think they do.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it's going to happen unless they get a Rodgers. If they get Rodgers,
right,
fine. Like nobody's going to say nothing. I mean, there'll be a few people mad in the beginning because of his personality and his politics, but at some point that would go away once he starts playing, and because that would be the best quarterback we've had since Steve Young. Like,
yeah, no if anyone was upset about the move, they wouldn't even say it either. It would be a local holiday, and anyone that had misgivings would just shut up.
yeah, no, that's why. But if they don't get Rodgers, I don't think they're going to, man. Sam Darnold, like we kept hearing they're not going to play Trey Lance because they're in a Super Bowl window. So what's the solution? Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
Come on, man.
No, I'm with you on that. I don't think that you could argue that they should. You could argue that Trey Lance's value could get even lower if the Niners botch this. You know, if they sit him, if they bench him, if he gets hurt again. But you could also argue that if he ends up being good and the Niners don't have a competent replacement, everyone gets fired.